Good morning, everybody. I'm Tlish, and you're watching Coffee and Clicks. Um, I just wanted to thank everybody that's viewing on YouTube, at home, or wherever you are viewing Coffee and Clicks and tuning in every so often. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content and enjoy today's episode of Coffee and Clicks. Good morning, everybody. I'm Tlish, and you're watching Coffee and Clicks. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content. It really helps us out. Today, we're sitting down with PJ Bolin from Phoenix Nest, Team Phoenix Nest. Hello, PJ.
Hey,
How you doing? So,
I am good.
I wanted to just talk about PJ for a moment. He's from Team Phoenix Nest. He's a very prominent player in the Clicks community for viewers out there. And just PJ, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, your HeroClix playing background, and your accomplishments first of all.
Sure. So I've been playing Clix actively since like Web of Spider-Man. Taking some time off in between, obviously. I didn't play competitively until, I don't remember what set it was, but it was sometime after the Book of the Skull rotated, shortly after that. So accomplishments, I have lost track of how many events I've won. On like a state and regional level. So like WizKids Opens, I think it's somewhere around like 13 WKOs, a couple regionals, but the biggest accomplishment's my Canadian Nationals win in 2018 with the Blackbird.
Okay, yeah, I
Uh,
remember that team, the Blackbird team.
yep, that was a lot of fun. I miss it already.
Yeah, I mean that's so, and also you're very famous for wearing a kilt to events, right?
Yeah.
So how does that come into play? Like, how does that influence your HeroClix playing ability?
The freedom downstairs does help a lot, right? It does. It actually is really comfortable and helps keep me cool through events. But I just kind of got that kilt one year at Gen Con, and my wife was like, "You should just start wearing it to Clix events." And I'm like, "Okay, sure, why not?" And it just kind of stuck. And now the company who makes them, Utilakilts, they actually sponsor me. Um,
So
so
you're like a spokesperson for the
yeah, like
for the kilt company.
they give me kilts. So yeah, and those kilts aren't cheap. So it's pretty exciting to get some free stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then also, I mean, but more seriously, so when you play at these high level events and you do well, you have won a lot of events. You've won Canadian Nationals, many WKOs. I mean, even in the Rock Online, I know you've been active in Rock Online, and
Yep.
you're like the Winamap king. You've you I think you won like six successive
Yeah,
Winamaps in
six
a row,
straight. Yeah.
six straight. So what do you do in the game that separates you and makes you successful as a player?
Um, I think what separates me from a lot of people is I always play different stuff. Like it might be a meta team, right? It's always going to be good. It's always going to be competitive, but I don't like playing the same team more than once. Um, so it is kind of nice to I find a figure that I want to play and just try to make it work, and then hope that it does. And more often than not, it usually at least somewhat works.
Yeah. I mean, stemming from that previous question, like what made me think is that that you do play a lot of different stuff, and so I mean, like for me, I one of my favorite teams that I played was Black Adam, and that's something
Hmm.
that you came up with, I think. But
Yeah, I think so. It was a pretty. I don't want to say that I came up with it. I played it first.
yeah, you were one
Um,
of the first people to play it, and I remember being
yeah,
inspired by your Black Adam team, and that's what made me play Black Adam. But when you come up with a team that's creative, or that it's not from the established meta already, like not an archetype, what goes into that creative process? Like, how do you come up with all these creative teams?
So it usually it starts with a piece like that I want. So like we'll say with Black Adam, it's like he's super mobile. He can call in good stuff at 100. I was like, that's a really good start to something. So what kind of support can I fit around him? Can I do it theme? Do I have to be non-theme? Does he thrive on certain maps? The answer to all of that is yes. He could be any of the above. Um, but mainly what I look for is a piece that does something that nothing else does. Because there's plenty of pieces with running shot pinsai, but there's not a whole lot of pieces that can free move through walls and have an extra potential 6 square sidestep basically. Um, so I'll start along those lines, and then there's for every one good team that I make 50 terrible ones. Um, so like I'll just like pick something and roll with it and hope. And then I'll put it on a map myself. Like I won't even play test it. I'll just put it on a Roll20 map, move it around. If I feel like it moves well, if I feel like it has the right moving parts, if it has good enough reach, then I'll try an event and see what happens.
Yeah, I imagine that a lot of people are doing that now with, especially post rotation. Now that there aren't ID cards, what makes a good piece is sort of different from what it used to be, right? Because like
Yeah.
Black Adam had so much mobility and could call in figures, but I don't know if he's really as playable now with the post rotation. Are there any pieces that you think people are sleeping on right now as far as post rotation that you might consider building around or making a team out of?
There's a lot of pieces right now that just aren't being played as much as I feel like they should be. So like the PS4 Spider-Man, I think Batman Prime is seeing a disgusting amount of underplay for how incredible of a piece it is. Even like on non-theme, just throwing him onto a build and saying, "Well, now you have to take me to a closed-up map or you just lose," is good, right? That's a good use of 40 points.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone knows he's good. I think Vulture's seeing just a gross lack of play. But like the sleeper one, I think would be like Booster Gold, the super rare
Okay.
from JLU.
Why do you think Booster Gold?
He does so much for 80 points. So he has the Justice League Unlimited trait, which is kind of whatever. He has Celebrity Future Justice League and JLI keywords. He has a 2 square free barrier. He has running shot, 2 target, 6 range, with in cap and he deals knockback. And then he has perplex prob, and when he perplexes himself, he can go +2 attack. So he's essentially, or speed or whatever, but he's essentially a 12 for 3 with a prob, and then like you can carry around a skeet to make him a 13 for 4, which is nothing to laugh at, and then he can barrier to protect himself. So like Future is one of the easiest padded theme teams because it has Doctor Fate, and then you can also play like Amanda Waller, the rare 035, to make Batman Prime Future.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
like
as far as future, would you rather play the 80-point Booster Gold, or would you rather play like Arno Stark for 90?
I would rather play Booster because the way I look at it is Arno Stark basically does the same thing for you that Batman's going to do.
Okay.
If you're going to play both, right? And so I don't want to go like when you do a build, you shouldn't go all eggs in one basket. If you make a team that's all ranged, you get shut down too easily. If you make a team that's all close combat, you get shut down too easily. So you have to have some type of mix of like mid range, and then Batman's the super long range. So you have to be able to adapt, and I think that Booster is a lot more adaptive than Arno.
Okay. And do you think there are any pieces out there that are like that people are going all in on that are overrated?
Um, that's tough because I think the meta is in a pretty good spot. I think everything that's being played deserves to be played. I guess Amazo is probably the one, and the only reason I'm saying that is because his team up cards are still ridiculously expensive for no reason. Like he is almost completely unplayable, and like he's still fetching like $50 to $60 a card on the team ups, and that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
So
You're saying he's unplayable because of like Black Widow, or
yeah, and then we have Galactus coming out soon, and we know that Galactus takes a sideline spot, and that means that you can't use Amazo team-ups if you want to play Galactus. And I'm always going to pick that over Amazo. So, yeah, I think the Amazo team-ups should be like $10 a pop, but people are still paying the big money, so whatever. More power to them. If you got the money, spend it. Healthy secondary market, I guess.
Well, yeah, and also, I mean, I guess Pauper, I guess, but
yeah, he is great in Pauper. He is great in Pauper. I'll give that. You know, your $300 Amazo is really good in Pauper.
Yeah.
Very counterproductive, but okay. Yeah, we're good.
And so, anyway, speaking of Galactus, do you think that so you will always play Galactus? Like, is Galactus like a must play? Is he like a meta piece? Is it the 25-point line?
Yeah. So modern becomes 275-point modern. Like every build should have it, or you're just wrong. Sorry. There's no reason not to play it. It's all upside.
Well, it seems like, I mean, well, when I first saw it, like the Herald, it's like, okay, it's 25 points, gives power cosmic, it gives power, so it's a lot. It's 30 points, right, or is it 25?
25.
It's
25. Yeah.
So it's similar to the Infinity Gauntlet that came out in, which hasn't seen any play though. The Infinity Gauntlet, really.
Right. And it's better, right? Because you don't have to take the time to equip it.
You don't have to equip it. Oh, and then does it? I mean, I don't remember exactly. Does it bring in? Is there a possibility of bringing in Galactus at 100 points?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
As the Herald dial turns, you start to see numbers, and then you can power action in your opponent's starting area, roll a d6. If your result is equal to or higher, you bring in Galactus at 100 points.
And what is the first power that shows up on the dial on the Herald dial?
They start with phasing.
Okay. Yeah.
Which isn't terrible.
Not terrible.
So even if you think about it, like I would pay 25 points to put that on Happy Hogan.
Yeah.
Power cosmic and phasing.
So what would you pick as a Herald for your team?
What would be good? It really just depends on what I'm playing. So for the Clix Mafia event that's happening, I was playing robots. I've been eliminated since, but it would go on Danger Room Sinister, hands down. He's a fantastic target for it. He needs the willpower. Mm-hmm. And now he has stealth, outwit, shape change that can't be countered. Seems good.
Yeah.
So he does a lot. Immortal Hulk's a good choice. I think Mandarin is a really good choice.
Right.
But honestly, like you tell me a 300-point team, I'll tell you what 25 points to cut and who to put it on. Like right. it can just go anywhere, and there's no downside.
Okay.
Because the elemental dial is just not okay. It's just so good.
And do you think that any of his other point values would be meta worthy, like the 100-point value? Or I mean, I guess we haven't really seen it in a very very clear. Like, I mean, we know what it is basically, though, right? Based on the previews.
Yeah, I don't think so. That zero movement is rough.
Yeah, even if he takes like a power action to move anywhere on the board, it's still pretty rough for him to.
And then because he's gonna have to you're gonna have to move to within I think he has a 10 range, so you're gonna have to power action go within 10, and then somehow not die.
Right. Okay.
I think the only upside is he should be able to be carried by like a Tri-Sentinel. Mm-hmm. I haven't looked at his symbols and stuff, but I imagine he doesn't fly. So if he doesn't have the wing symbol, at least like a Tri-Sentinel can carry that big old body around.
Yeah, just carrying Galactus around. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the big old 3x6 Galactus.
Okay, and then how about Fantastic Four? Have you what have you seen from Fantastic Four? And I can share my screen. This is courtesy of HC Realms.
Right.
So thank you to Jay Solomon and the people that work on HC Realms. But
they're the real MVPs.
Here is just everything that has been previewed so far, or almost everything, from the Fantastic Four set. I mean, there's Doombot.
Doombot is phenomenal. That is such a good. He even has a second click. I didn't even notice that. I thought he was just one click. Like, he's so good. So he doesn't even die to Widow's Recruit poisons. So that's such a big deal. Like, I would pay 15 points just for that, not even counting the damage power.
Yeah.
It's just, man, because he can prevent an attack, outwit, or perplex on any. It's probably only going to be Doctor Doom
Yeah, and
because
then
it has to have both
there's the Doctor
keywords.
Doom that's associated with Doombot. So when placing characters during game setup, you can place you can generate 2 Doombots in your starting area. This game, when a friendly Doombot is KO'd, you may immediately place Doom from the so Doom starts on the card. He doesn't start on the board.
Right.
And then it's immediate, so it could be. I think it's like let's say somebody's flurrying a Doombot. Do you have to wait until after resolutions of the flurry in order to?
Nope, because it would be mid flurry.
Be mid flurry because it's immediate.
Yeah. So, but the cool thing about this Doom
yeah.
is, if you push a Doombot to death, he can just pop out in that square and then running shot pulse wave immediately.
Wait, say this again. So
if it doesn't say when a friendly Doombot is KO'd by an opposing character.
Okay.
So like you could push one to death, pop Doom out of that into that square.
Oh, okay.
And running shot pulse wave their team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. So
he's really good.
It's almost worse that they have 2 clicks then.
Right. Yeah, it is a little harder. That was my thought. If they only had 1 click, I was like, yeah, they're just gonna die immediately. But so it is a little worse, I guess, that they have 2. Yeah, but you can still set that up. You can always like knock them off elevation or something, or use the influence ring.
Lots of scientist you can tell in this set. I think scientist is an up and coming keyword.
All of the chases they've shown are ridiculously good.
So let's take a look at what they have.
Oh, and Scroll General is really good too. I think he's an uncommon or a rare.
Yeah, I was really hoping that he would be cosmic as well because just to have that cosmic leadership again. But
yeah. Sue is awkwardly the worst of the chases so far, but yet she's really good. Valeria is borderline broken, and then we just saw Franklin yesterday, but it looks like they haven't put it up yet.
Yeah, they haven't put it up yet, but we saw Franklin Von Doom, who's 70 points with 2 stop clicks. And,
which one is like sidestep, like 13 attack, 20 defense, 5 damage or something.
Yeah. And he starts. But what I mean, like a lot of people are like, oh my god, he's so great. But I mean, I see that his value, especially he's got a lot of value at 70 points. But I mean, wouldn't you just avoid him and not attack him?
Well, that's why like the build would have to have influence ring, right? So you can knock him into walls, knock him off elevation to get him rolling.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you make sure that he's pretty much unignorable. That'd be the goal. But Valeria is the piece that I'm most excited about in this whole set.
So Valeria,
she's already great at 30 points just for leadership, perplex, and she hands out outwit. That's excellent, right? I would gladly pay 30 points just for that on those keywords. But then she has Minions of Doom, and then she does a penetrating damage to any time an opposing character is placed within 4 squares of line of fire. So like Spin Ring, Influence Ring, Magneto's effects, TKs,
retail.
All of that deal a pin. Yeah, retail. The retail would get to resolve first, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Like
there's just so much that she does. And again, like whenever something is KO'd by her effect, there's a heal because Minions of Doom doesn't require it to be an attack. So every time that pin damage kills somebody, she or another Minions of Doom character will get to heal a click. So it makes her little 4-click dial a lot longer than it looks.
Oh right, yeah. If you play her on a Minions of Doom like team, yeah.
Yeah, or even just like with like the starter Doom, right? Just him, just healing him is enough in my opinion. Like I'm fine with that.
Starter Doom gets so good even with those Doombots because the Doombots the Doombots what their special is we didn't really look that closely to a special, but yeah. So if you roll 4 to 6, the opponent chooses an untargeted Doombot to become the target instead for an attack, an outwit, or a perplex. So if somebody tries to attack Doom, now they're attacking the Doombot.
Yep.
On a 4 to 6, so that's crazy.
It's so good for 15 points, and they're not even ignorable, right? Like it's not even something that you can just ignore because they are still running shot EE with 5 range or just 10 attack, 3 damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, you can't ignore them.
Doombot's something you're probably going to want to own like 5 of out of this set.
What do you think of this unique Franklin Richards at
I
the rare?
personally don't like him.
He's interesting. He
has to get an errata. I want to point this out. I'm trying to make sure everybody knows this because as he is worded, if you ever choose powers or ever attack, you take damage every turn subsequently.
Let me see. So choose 3 standard powers. Franklin Richards can use the chosen powers until your next turn. At the end of your turn, if Franklin Richards activated this power or made an attack, roll a d6. Oh, okay. So
because it doesn't say if he activated this power this turn or made an attack this turn.
Right.
So just at the end of the turn, if either of those have been done, which they have, roll a d6, take damage, and that I don't think that's the intent. I think the intent is because literally the name of it is every time I use my powers.
Right.
So I think the intent is correct. So I think he will get an errata to make it better. But even then, it's still questionable to me because people are like, "But I can pick running shot, pulse wave, prob, and then you'll die."
Well, yeah, you could roll a 1 or a 2 and just take 2 damage, but then
you'll have no defense power.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, well, I can take running shot, pulse wave, invincible, and then if you miss, like I can pulse wave for 7. I'm like, so can Starfire, and she has a stop click. So I don't know. Like he's okay. I think he's better for his other trait, where he gives all Fantastic Four people power cosmic. That's what I would play him for. I think that's sweet.
This Silk kind of looks good because
I like Silk. I don't know how good it is. I think in an ID meta it would be a lot better. Mm-hmm. But she's certainly not bad. Like,
anytime you give somebody super senses on a 4 through 6 with protected outwit, you have that whole Spidey trait. That's
yeah. And for 30 points, I'm fine with 9 moves sidestep with stealth. That when she moves, she doesn't take a token for it. Mm-hmm. I think she's good. Her keywords are awkward. Like, she has bad generics, but I think she's a fine piece. She's playable. Dragon Man is an interesting one to me.
Okay.
He has Enforcer's keyword. That means Fancy Dan can make him attack. So keep that in mind.
All right, and remind me about Fancy Dan again. So,
he's like power action. Select 2, I think adjacent characters with the Enforcer's keyword. They can both make attacks this turn for free. Free make an attack. So like, you could activate that, then have Dragon Man carry up another Enforcer, or just 2 Dragon Mans, whatever, and then get 2 free attacks, 11 for 4.
Right.
Okay. So it's neat. I don't know if it's good, but it's something I want to try at some point.
That's
Agent
Super
Venom's
Scroll.
cool. Super Scroll's cool. I like the way they did his pick of powers.
Yeah, that's better than just like your boring kind of like pick any power.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time, like on your approach, you're picking Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, and then when you go to fight, you start picking either Thing or Human Torch instead of Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, what I was thinking was, what was I thinking? So if you wanted to, for some reason, charge Giant Reach, you could do Thing and Mr. Fantastic.
That's good. Yeah, that is definitely a good combo, especially if you have like flurry access, like with like Awk Arms or something.
Or if you wanted to shoot, you could do Invisible Woman, Human Torch, because then you can sidestep running shot. You get a lot of range that way.
For sure, he's good. I think Skrulls are in a good place anyway, especially like with the general, and then he has shape change on dial and a team ability. So I think all of his point values are pretty playable. I probably like his 50 because I can play 2 at 50. Yeah. Right, like 2 at 50 is infinitely better than 1 at 100. But
100%. Yeah,
and I don't think he's unique. It doesn't say he is on Realms, but I don't remember if he was or not. But yeah, I think he's sweet with the general.
Oh, and how about that the new Prime that was just previewed?
Oh, Black Leopard.
Black Leopard.
Overrated.
Okay.
A lot of people think he's like meta defining, and I think he's okay. I like him. How the Chase Sue Storm and the Common Sue Storm have the trait to let you switch through your Fantastic Four pieces. I like him on the sideline for like certain matchups, but he has to be within 6 squares in line of fire to matter. And he doesn't have any improved targeting. He doesn't have any stealth, and he's not that durable. He only has a 17 defense. So he has to have like a Nightbringer ring to not just get shot from 7 squares away and die.
Right. Okay.
But I like it if you can force them to come punch him, because then they have to roll a 9. That's good. I like him offensively to make sure they only have a 17 defense, but most defenses are pretty much a 17 or an 18 right now. So, like, I don't know how helpful that'll be. It's good against like killing Tri-Sentinels, but getting him within 6 of a Tri-Sentinel isn't going to be super easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think he's a lot better on paper than he is in practice.
He's 50 points, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I think actually that would be a lot better on a piece that was like really low cost at like 30 or something like that.
Or beefy and high points, right? Like 100-point 9-click piece. Mm-hmm. Sure, sign me up. But yeah, it's tough. He's enough points to make it hurt, and not playing, and then playing him over like Micron or Q or one of the better primes is tough. But like I said, I like him on sideline for Fantastic Four and those matchups where it matters, but I don't see too many of those.
And how about that? So you mentioned that the game mechanic for the new set, where you switch out Fantastic Four pieces with other Fantastic Four pieces. How does that actually work, and when would you use that?
Okay, so the way it will work is Sue Storm and Invisible Woman have it, and then there's one for the Frightful Four. I don't remember what character it is, but it exists. Basically, how it works is I can say, all right, I'm going to switch out 3 characters from my main force for 3 characters on my sideline that are of equal or lesser points total. So if I switch out 200 points of like 3 characters that are 200 points, I can switch into 3 characters that are 200 points, but they don't have to be the same spread.
You can do that at any time or at the beginning of the game?
Beginning of the game. So, okay. So the better way to explain it would be, say I'm switching out a 100-point piece and 2 50-point pieces. I could switch into a 100-point piece, a 75-point piece, and a 25-point piece. They don't have to all be equal, just the sum can't overlap, and it has to be the same number of pieces. So the math gets kind of weird, but I think it's super useful because basically, if anybody has card gaming experience, so Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, it lets you have a side deck, right? It lets you have a sideboard. It lets you have things that are beneficial in certain matchups that may or may not be beneficial in every matchup.
Okay.
So it's like I said, like with Black Leopard, there might be a game where it's like, wow, they're playing all these pieces with ESD. So, well, I don't want them to have that bonus, so I'm going to make sure they're only a 17. I'm going to bring in Black Leopard. And so we haven't seen enough to justify all of that yet. I don't know what all options we're going to end up with by the time this set's said and done, but my expectation is we'll end up with a lot of things that are good, good enough. So like the 100-point Sue Storm chase has that free barrier stuff. So if you get put on particular maps, you can be like, well, I'm going to switch into her. Now I have barrier to make sure you can't get to me. So It makes your opponent be a lot more leery about where they put you and their decision-making process.
So you have things basically on your sideline that are geared towards specific types of builds or specific things.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds cool. I mean, what do you think? By the way, so everybody's excited about also God Doom, right? Like we saw that on the box art. Yeah. So like, what would be like your Like if you were making God Doom, what would you make it?
First, I would make sure he had all Battle World keywords, like just a trait that says he possesses all Battle World keywords, because that makes sense. But if he's anything less than like 200, I feel like it would be a disgrace. Okay. He's probably going to have some pickup power abilities, but man, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's tough. Like, there's so much they can do with him because he's a really in-depth character in that arc. If you've read it, Doom gets a lot of love in that. So he, literally embodies a god. That's why he's called God Doom.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put powers to like God, like I mean, even we've gotten so many now iterations of the Franklin Richards, like Galactus Franklin. And it's interesting how they did it with different Franklin pieces, that they're previewing.
Did you see that Pog?
Oh, the Pog is crazy. Yeah.
Man, I hope Dr. Fantastic is less than 150 points.
And I heard people saying like the Pog is it's going to be immobile, but like even if it is immobile, like you can just TK the piece that produced the Pog, and then produce the Pog because the piece itself, it says protected pulse wave, like in all caps. So you can pulse wave with the Pog and have it not affect Dr. Fantastic. So
yeah, and the Pog has a trait which we don't know what it does yet.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if it's going to be like he must be adjacent to Dr. Fantastic or something. Mm-hmm. Or he's KO'd if he's not adjacent to a Dr. Fantastic, whatever. Otherwise, like Jason Wingard's going to love that guy.
It might be that he can't be generated other than from.
Yeah, all of that's a distinct possibility.
Yeah.
Or they just make Dr. Fantastic 155 points. 151 to be spiteful.
Yeah. So I mean, like now with quarantine and everything, what have you been doing as far as HeroClix in general?
Well, I haven't played a game of Clix in person since I don't know, February, March. But I've been doing tons of online play.
Okay. All right.
Playing with random friends, doing these online tournaments. I've done, I think, all of the big ones.
So you just recently played in the Chicago Clix Mafia, the Punch Extravaganza?
Yep. I got knocked out in top 32.
What was your team?
I played robots. So I played Magneto, or Danger Room Magneto with the Exospecs, Danger Room Sinister with the Spin Ring, Cyclops Sentinel, Amazo at 40, Too Much Regret, Tri-Sentinel, 10-point Superman, 10-point Brainiac. There's something else that I'm missing. I don't think that's the whole build. Cyclops Sentinel. Did I say that? Cyclops Sentinel.
Yeah. And so with that team, like, who's your main attacking, or you just have lots of pieces going on at the same time?
There's actually a lot going on at the same time with that team. A lot of things can attack. Like, that Superman robot is no joke. Like, sidestep, 10 attack, 3 damage, close combat expert.
Yeah.
Like, he's sweet. He got a lot of hits in. Magneto was the primary. Cyclops Sentinel would probably be the secondary attacker. Because Cyclops Sentinel does a lot of things that people don't realize. Like with his attack power, how it does that extra splash damage at the end. Like, it pushes through stop clicks. So, because it'll hit them to their stop, then after resolutions hit them for another pin. So, like, I had to play against a 150-point Ultron. And Cyclops Sentinel was the MVP there because it would just skip him through his stops. So he would never sit on there. So that was nice. The team was good. Caused some bad breaks in top 32. I'm not saying it was like bad luck. Like, dice were okay. I crit missed on my pulse wave with Magneto, and that hurt really bad. Especially when I don't have trouble alerts to bring in.
Well, you could have brought in... Oh, no, you don't because of Amazo. Right. Okay.
Right. That's why I said too much regret on playing Amazo. Because Amazo was very mediocre the whole event for me.
So would you, if you're going back to it, would you replace maybe with 50-point Ultron and like take out?
That's the piece I was missing. I was playing 50-point Ultron.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yes, I knew I was missing someone because I'm like, the points just aren't adding up. But yeah, I was playing Ultron because I wanted the prob, and then Amazo would copy leadership early and copy prob later. That was the only use he was for me.
Okay.
extra leaderships and extra props.
And then and so you equipped exospecs. You had exospecs you equipped to Magneto.
Uh huh.
Okay. Yeah.
Because with him, if you running shot pulse wave, you get to control the knockback, which way they go. So then you knock them off of ledges,
Oh, all
and they
right.
take the full 3.
Nice.
So it's sweet. That was really key in a lot of games.
Who was in your pool?
Um, that's a good question. Uh, Josh Plaster was playing Ultron. Brian Poling was playing a mystical theme team, and Devin Owens, the current Canadian national champion, was playing a Witch Queen LeFay team.
Oh, nice, nice. All right, that's I like that piece. Yeah.
Yeah, Dev. I got pretty lucky against Devin. He was playing Witch Queen LeFay with Ace, so no perplexes, no probs, basically.
Okay.
So I set up the big shot with Cyclops Sentinel, targeting Ace, and he's like, you know what? You need an 8. You can't prob it. I'm gonna not roll the shape change because I don't want you to shoot at my 16 defense piece instead.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just rolled the 8.
Oh, nice.
So, which kills Ace because it hits for 4 and then that 1 penetrating after. So that doesn't deal the feedback damage to my team. So that was pretty lucky. Cyclops Sentinel was MVP there. So that was cool. And then I lost to Brian. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I did have an almost 1-year-old child crawling all over me the entire match. I was trying to hurry as quick as I could. Like Aaron from Last Action Hero Clicks was streaming it, and I'm just talking to the baby the whole time. I have a really bad play that I get to make in the beginning, but if I hit it, I just win. If I miss, I just lose, and then I missed, so I lost.
Yeah.
I needed a 9 with a prob, and I was like, yeah, whatever. If I hit it, great.
Yeah, it's doable.
This game becomes super easy. And yeah, I rolled an 8 prob 8, so I was close.
So you've been playing a lot of so you play Rock Online too, right? A lot of Rock Online. Like as we mentioned, they're still doing tournaments, Winamaps and things like that. Has your where do you what's your like local venue or your game store? Have they opened up yet or?
They are, but nobody plays HeroClix around me.
Okay.
So it's pretty much just me and 2 of my buddies, and I basically don't have a local. Like I don't have anywhere to play other than online.
Oh,
I have to drive an hour to play anywhere anyway, and it's tough with the kiddo. Mm-hmm. And my wife's back at work, so like I don't want to. She gets off work. Hey, watch the baby. I'm gonna go play a game. So
is your wife into like the game and stuff like that, or into gaming?
She is definitely into gaming. She's a big old nerd, but she's not into clicks. Like we tried, she didn't like it, so I didn't push it. She has her own hobbies. Like she does cosplay and she plays computer games, mobile games. But,
what other games do you play? Like besides HeroClix?
Not really a lot. I do video gaming. Like I play like old JRPGs. Like right now, I'm currently playing one from 1998 because I don't know, so it's enjoyable to me. Mm-hmm. I play League of Legends sometimes. Usually, I just rage quit because that's what everybody does who plays that game. But I don't play any other collectible games. I played Magic for a long time. Played Yu-Gi-Oh a lot. Played Pokemon a lot. I still own like a ton of 40K stuff, but I don't play that anymore either. So.
And so, are you like a comic book fan? Is that what got you like into HeroClix in the beginning, or?
So what actually got me into HeroClix was a Mage Knight. I learned Mage Knight and Mech Warrior back in the 90s. So they are the predecessors to HeroClix, and I love the tabletop miniatures. I love the clicking dials. That was enjoyable to me. And then both Mage Knight and Mech Warrior died. And so I always knew that I liked those style of games. So then HeroClix came out. HeroClix came out when those were still running. And I remember distinctly thinking, nah, that game's not going to last. Mage Knight's definitely the one that's going to stick around. I was pretty wrong. But that's more or less what got me interested. And then what got me in the last time was just a friend of mine just like, hey, we need to play this. And I was like, all right, whatever. I owned a game store at the time, so playing anything was good because it got other people in there playing. I do enjoy comic books. I don't read them a lot. What I'll do is basically wait until a run is done. If it sounds like something I'll enjoy, I'll buy the whole run, read it, then sell it. So
yeah, I do the same thing except for the selling it part.
Fair. And I don't buy digital because our local comic book shop is a great store.
Yeah.
So I'll buy as much as I can off of him. Now there's like some back issues I won't be able to get or whatever, so I'll get those digital if I have to. But like I think the only run I still have that I didn't get rid of is Fear Itself. I think it's the only one I still have sitting in there. Just I really liked Fear Itself.
Well, the God Doom is from the that's from Secret Wars. That's from the reboot of Secret Wars with Jonathan Hickman, who's now writing X-Men, which is coming out in I don't know when X-Men the House of X is coming out, but Hickman is now writing X-Men.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah. Which is the House of X set that's coming out in I think August or something like that. It's based on the new X-Men run, which is written by Jonathan Hickman, who wrote the reboot of Secret Wars with God Doom and everything like that. That's cool. He's a really good writer.
Good.
So, so PJ, thanks for joining us. By the way, I mean, do you have any other things that you want to say to the Coffee and Clicks fans or anybody at home?
Try online play.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
I would say that's a really good message because a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are scared to do online play for some reason, or they just say, "Oh, Real Clicks is so much better," which I agree.
It is.
I agree with. It is.
Yeah.
It is a lot better, but there are a lot of good reasons to play online.
Yeah, and it's not hard. It looks a little daunting at first, but it's super simple. And there's really good tutorials out. Like Emily from up in Canada, she did a blog post that is fantastic at explaining it. And then if you prefer video tutorials, there are probably a dozen of them on YouTube that can help teach you how to roll 20. And it's literally just moving some pictures around. I mean, it's super simple.
Yeah, you just download the pictures and then you move them around. I mean, I know a lot of people also play TTS, Tabletop Simulator, but I personally, I tried TTS, but I personally, I just am more familiar with Roll20, and I think that's what most people do because it's also free. So
yeah, there's no price barrier. Now, Tabletop Simulator is not expensive. You can catch it on sale for like $10-20, but it's still, that is a barrier for some people. I don't ever want to assume somebody's financial situation, so having a free option is certainly better than having any type of paid option. Tabletop Simulator certainly looks better.
Yeah, it looks really nice. TTS looks really nice and it's also useful for a lot of other types of games besides.
Yeah, it's a good program to own. I've owned Tabletop Simulator for a while, like well before Clix was ever on it, just because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. PJ, thanks for joining us today. By the way, everybody at Coffee and Clicks, everybody watching Coffee and Clicks today, check out the description of the video below so that you can. I'm going to post links for my Facebook and my Discord, and don't forget, wake up and smell the clicks. All right, thank you, have a good day.
Hey, you too, man.